fresh out the box. Stop, look and watch. Ready yet? Get set. It's all that.
The vibes, OD Vibes, Me Too Live. Your favorite music influencer from the one and only Boston City of Champs. Because what we do, all we do is win. And we in the building tonight with someone who understands what it really means to be a champ, because she really be in the building where all the champs be playing.
Hey, yo, period.
And yeah, we love that. Give it up for Tamera King.
Woo! Hey y'all, what's poppin'?
What's good? Period.
Let's get it.
How you feeling?
I'm good. Not these headphones.
It's okay.
I'm good. I'm blessed. I've been working a lot with music, like my next releases and stuff. So I've just been super busy with
Understandable.
Yeah.
On the go. Definitely, for sure.
Yeah.
So, yeah, singer, songwriter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, what is your journey to becoming a singer and songwriter?
Well, okay, so I started singing when I was 8. I was in the church choir, but low-key or high-key, I was super shy. So when I got of age, I told my mom, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. So I stopped singing, but then my brother, he's also into the music industry, my brother-in-law.
Okay.
So I was just always in the studio with him and, you know, just doing that and just building off of other people's energies and trying to create music myself. I was like, oh, I want to do this, and so that's what I did.
Right, definitely energy transfers and energy radiates.
Yeah.
So how old were you, like, around that time?
When I decided to take it seriously, like in the studio, I was 15, but I started off rapping. Not everyone know that. I can't spit no bars right now. So, but I started off rapping, which is just crazy because I love singing, but it was just fun to rap. And I also looked up to so many like younger rap artists that was coming up during that time, and I just wanted to like low key be like them. So I was like, I can rap, and so I started off doing that.
That's cool. That's cool. Yeah, I completely wouldn't have, like, I would have guessed, but it's like, didn't know that. Yeah,
I know. It's
how you
crazy.
got into the game first?
It's crazy, but I'm trying to get back into it now. And just do more melodic stuff because, you know, that's kind of in right now. But also it's just super fun to do.
No, literally.
So I've been trying to do that as well.
For sure. Understandable. So, like, okay, so you're singing, you're rapping. Were there, like, places and stuff that you were doing this at? Or was it just, like, you, in a sense, were just doing it with your brother when he was at the studio and stuff? And, like, what type of work does he do, in a sense, kind of? Is it he's an artist?
So my brother-in-law, he manages a lot of Christian hip-hop artists. But he also be, like, booking their shows and stuff. So in the beginning, I was just in the studio with a bunch of artists. And then I don't even know how the conversation came, but I basically told him, like, oh, I want to do this seriously. And so then I would go to shows. I would do shows. I would make my own raps. He would put me on to, like, engineers and producers, and I would just collab with them. And then just build everything off of that.
That's cool. And this is in the Boston area as well.
Yeah, everything in the Boston area. And then it just grew to be something bigger, so.
That's dope. But, you know, shout out to Tamera, you know, having her family in the building as well.
Yeah, my 2 nieces.
Period. So, definitely a lot of collaborations going on.
Yeah.
I also know you've collaborated with different people that were also young in Boston doing music and stuff like that. Can you talk about that?
Yeah. That was super dope. I would say, like, as a kid, you're super inspired by a lot of things. So coming up, I did work heavily with, like, Guy Claude and Clark and Kiki and Etche. Like, we were kind of basically a part of the same group at a certain point of time. And they're all dope creators, like producers, writers, rappers. So just building off of their energy, like, we learn from each other.
Right.
And then over time, as people get older, you build, you know, your own platform, and we get to, like, collaborate in different aspects. So working with them was super dope. And also just continuing to work with the people that my brother put me on at a young age. I still work with them till this day because they're dope. They're older than me. They treat me like, you know, little sis and stuff, and I definitely look up to them, and they inspire me. But yeah,
that's cool. That's dope. And yeah, it's important, you know, having those connections and you know, building those connections, especially at a young age.
No, it's important because not a lot of people have it.
No, for real. So how old were you around that time when you were collabing with them and making music with them?
I was like 16, 17 maybe, because at least for the first year, like being 15 and deciding I wanted to do it, I kind of did a lot of stuff myself. Like when it came to, you know, getting money for studio time, I'm gonna just get a job and just pay for everything myself. And I still do that till this day, but I guess I started really collaborating with people when I was like 17, 18.
That's dope. That's what's up. And that responsibility of like knowing that, like, okay, this is what I want to do, this is what I got to do it.
Yeah,
that's important mindset to have, you know. It's
so important because no one's gonna hand you anything. Like, I come from a very supportive system, but at the end of the day, like, I gotta still fund what I want to do. And I'm also like low-key an expensive person, so they're like, yeah, I'm not paying for all of that. So I was like, okay.
No, I feel you. Okay, period.
Yeah.
So, you know, definitely heavily a lot of stuff also in Boston. So I seen that, you know, you've opened up for the Celtics not once but twice.
Two times.
Yeah. How did that happen? How does it feel? And
okay, so shout out to my friend Simone.
Shout out Simone.
I love you. So basically, she sent me like an email because you have to audition basically. So she sent me an email. She was like, "Oh, you should submit something to this." And it's crazy because during the week of the submission, I was not feeling it. Like, I was just really like in a slow, sad place. I was like, no, I don't want to submit nothing. But I was like, fine, I'll do it. So I submitted it. They actually got back to me like a week later, and they was like, oh, can you sing for this game? I was like, what? Like, I didn't even think I was gonna get it because, like I said, I was so just tapped out. But when I did it the first time, it was crazy. Like, it went by so fast, and everything's just moving so fast. Like, they had me practice in the beginning, but I'm practicing, but the basketball players are on the court still shooting basketballs and stuff, so I got to like really lock in. So I think it definitely taught me a lot about the industry low-key during that part, but it was fun. And then they called me back for a second time not too long ago, and that was good too.
That's great. Oh my gosh.
This is crazy though, because so many people were like, were you nervous? Because there's so many people that you're singing in front of.
Literally, and it's like live on TV as well, right?
Oh, yeah. I try not to think about that, like, when I'm doing it. But also, I feel like I dissociate, which is, I don't know if a good or bad thing. But when I'm there, I don't really see people. Like, I just, you know, do what I got to do.
That's a good mindset to have, literally, because it can be nerve-wracking. It can be, but just got to keep going and know what you're doing.
Yeah, and just tap in.
Literally. Literally. Also, so you talk about how your brother managed Christian artists and stuff like that. So you're a Christian. That's cool. So is there, like, I feel like also what you're saying is like confidence and like faith, having faith in like what you got to do and stuff like that. So is your faith something that's really big to you as well?
Always big to me every time.
Amen.
If you know me, you know I'm always going to talk about something spiritual or like something involving God, because he's such a vital vessel in my life. Like, I wouldn't do anything, or I wouldn't know who I am without him. And you gonna know that for sure, because there's times where I'm lost and I just have to lock in like with myself and, you know, what I feel like he's telling me to do. So that definitely helped me do a lot of things. Like, when you have faith, you can literally do anything. Like, I don't care if it doesn't make sense. I don't care if you don't have enough money. If you put your faith into something, it's gonna happen. Period. So that definitely helped me with a lot of stuff.
100%. Right behind your sister with that. Like, literally, where would we even be without God? So, you know?
You can say that again.
Literally.
And again.
Literally. Okay, so in your songs and stuff like that, in your music, I love it. Like, literally love. You know, you talk about a lot of themes that have to do with, like, love and war in your songs. So I just want you know kind of to expand in that, like, do those come from personal experiences, and like how do you approach writing about those kind of topics?
A lot of it does come from like a personal experience, but I think now as I'm getting older, I love the art of songwriting and like being able to create and execute a feeling in a world without having attachment to it. Because, you know, sometimes people want me to write for another artist, but I have to like get to know them and try to create a world for them. So I think for me, a lot of it in the beginning was my personal experiences, and it still is. But now as I'm getting more into songwriting, I love writing. I love creating different worlds. Even if, you know, I do have some type of connection to it or not, I still love like creating it.
Right.
So it's a little bit of both.
That's cool. That's dope to understand. And it's like almost like you're writing a story. And like sometimes I even like tell people and explain, you know, writing music is like, it's like poetry on a beat. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like, that's what you're kind of doing. And it's just like another way, it's like another way to connect with people, you know?
Yeah.
And because someone is listening and they feel it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's what matters. And that's what counts.
And I love when people say they can connect to it, especially when it is like a personal experience. But yeah, it really just depends on the situation. Like even my last song, About Me, I didn't even write it. His name is John Keith, he's super fire, he wrote it. And I connected to the story, so I still like sang on it, and he gave it to me, and it's a fire record. But even with that, like I didn't write it, he did, and he created that world, and I'm like, oh yeah, I like that.
Right, and you're able to like execute it out with your voice.
Yeah.
So dope.
Yeah.
Love. So how do you go about those kind of connections though, in a sense of like writing songs for people, getting people to write songs, even collaborations now?
Okay, so writing songs for people. So I went to NYU.
Dope. What'd you study?
Music business.
Okay, cool.
And so I had this music publishing internship, and I emailed them. I was like an A&R, but I emailed them. I was like, oh, I'm also a writer. Can I like write for you guys? Can you just send me beats? And of course I had to like send them some of my stuff to show them like a proof of concept or whatever. But once I sent it to them, they was like, oh yeah, this is fire. So they send me beats. And let's say they want me to write a song for Lotto or Megan or Summer Walker. They'll send me type beats like that, and then I'll just record to it. So that kind of came from like a music publishing company. John Keith, that came about through my brother-in-law. So we was actually leaving a show from New Hampshire, and we was just like showing demos in the car, and he showed me About Me, and I was like, ooh, I'm gonna need that one. So it really just depends. Like sometimes it's like connections from school, because like I said, I did major in music business, so there is a certain correlation there. Or it's just people I already know that are like word of mouth. So,
period. Yeah, and NYU, literally I feel like that's where Nicki went.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of, in general, music happening there. Like that's that's a good music school. So I'm not surprised at all.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like, you know, your experience at NYU, balancing being an artist and a student?
Yeah. NYU, I would say in the beginning it was hard to adjust to, just because I didn't know anyone in New York. So I had to make friends by myself. And I remember being in my dorm like, this is ghetto. Like, I need to go back home because my sister dropped me off. I was like, I can't do this. But over time, like, you just adjust to it. And I feel like I make friends pretty easily. So that kind of helped. But overall, like, when it comes to music, like you said, it's so well known for music. So everyone I meet, like, you can just build off of the relationship. And I'm like, oh, you sing, oh, you write, let's do a session. So I remember the first week I actually had a session just off of people I didn't really know, but, you know, they heard me sing, I heard them play, and I was like, oh, okay, let's do this. But it really reminds me of like a busier Boston. So in regards to the like nightlife and city, it wasn't too like intimidating, because it can be a lot because there's so many people in New York.
Right, city don't sleep. So,
but I met a lot of dope people, and they also like helped me adjust, and some people were also from New York, so like they would show me around as well. But yeah, I loved it. I don't regret it at all. Like, it's such an expensive school, but that took faith. Okay, I'm serious, that took so much faith, but it's something I wanted to do so bad, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna do it. So I did it.
Period. So what made you like decide to go to college? Because you know, sometimes when it comes to the music industry, it's so like, fuck, excuse my language, but it's like F school, I'ma just do it, find a way. But I mean, I feel like that's an investment that you're making. So yeah, why did you decide to do that?
It was just always a goal of mine to go to college, period. I always tell myself, like, when I have kids, I want to be able to tell them like, oh, like, I went to college. Because my parents, they didn't go to college.
Okay.
My sister is the only one that graduated from college, and then there's me, and I'm the youngest of 5. So it didn't really happen in our family, especially financially. It's so expensive. But also, I love the industry. Like, I love being an artist. I love being a creator, but I wanted to know more about the music industry and the business behind it. Right. So I was like, oh, I'll just go to school for it. And New York was like the perfect city to do it in. I wanted to go to LA, but I didn't get into USC, so it's whatever.
It's whatever. I mean, you know, fun fact, hip hop did start in New York and everything. So,
it sure
it's
did.
Like, you know, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah. LA, we gonna see you later. You know what I mean? It's okay. So obviously music, investing, and also like I do agree with your point of like being, when you go to school for something, study something that you like. That's
for
something, because at the end of the day, just like faith, it will definitely work out. Because sometimes it irks me when people are like, oh, you know, someone goes to school for sociology and they're like, sociology doesn't pay nothing. But if that's what someone's really passionate about, I promise you, they could really get racks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
For, you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
It's deeper than that. So.
And I think happiness comes first. Like, there's so many people that came to me, like, in high school and was like, oh, like, I want to go to this school, or I want to major in this, but so-and-so told me not to. And I'm just like, if it makes you happy, then do it. Like, there was... I'm not gonna say no names, but there were teachers, like, senior year, they were like, don't do that, like, financially it's not smart, and what are you gonna do with a music business degree? But I was like, I want to do it. And I'm very, like, resilient. Like, if I want to do something, I'm going to do it.
Period.
And I'm just always do something that makes me happy. So yeah,
as you should. And honestly, like, think about it though, music is one of the businesses that it's going to be around forever. We kind of need it. There's so many different avenues to take with it, and music is always going to be here. So, yeah.
And you can make money. Like, there's so many people like, oh, you can't make money off. Yes, you can. What are you talking about? You just don't know.
No, you just don't know. That's funny.
Yeah.
But, okay, so I know, speaking of, like, investing in yourself, you had the experience to attend the No Label Academy.
Yeah.
Can you talk about, like, what that was? And, like, I know it's with a famous producer.
IDK.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yep. So can you talk about that and that experience?
Yeah. How long ago was that? I think that was like maybe 2 years ago, which is crazy. It was another application process. So I submitted like a portfolio, an essay, I think. And then, I think it was like for 7 days, I learned a lot about the music industry, which I gravitated to because I'm already like in school for music business at the time. And it was just a lot. Like, they taught me so much about discipline, because when I tell you, I woke up at 6 a.m. every single day and didn't go to sleep till like maybe 12 a.m. the latest, because that's how packed our schedule was. Like, every second of the day we were doing something. We were learning, whether it's about like marketing, performing, budgeting. It was just very intense, but it was so fun because I loved doing it. And then I met so many dope people, and I still talk to them till this day. And it was just like literally probably the best experience I've ever had. And then towards the end, I basically, I guess, won the opportunity to open up for IDK and Rico Nasty. And that was crazy. That was crazy. Oh my gosh. But I only had like a couple hours to prepare for that, because they told me the day before. And so the show's the day after. And I'm like, oh, okay. I mean, good thing I do this in real life, because if this was fake, I wouldn't be able to do it. But that was the best show I probably have had so far.
Wow. That's so. Did you get to meet Rico Nasty and them?
No, I didn't. I mean, IDK worked with us like every day. So we saw him every day. He was in the class. He was teaching us. So that was super dope. But Rico herself, I didn't get to meet her.
Oh, that's fine. But Rico, she's cool. And that's so dope to be able to work with IDK.
Yeah.
But what inspired you to even like pursue that? Was it just your interest?
Like No Label?
Yeah, the No Label opportunity.
It was definitely my interest. I also felt like it would have been a good way to invest in myself and just be around people in the music industry, because I'm so hungry to just figure this stuff out, and it's not easy. And like I said, no one's going to really hand me anything. And I think the dope thing about that, like, everything was free. Like, you don't understand the amount of game they put us on, the merch they gave us, the opportunity to perform. That was all free. Like, that was all just based off of love and just believing in us. And I think that was just crazy. So I was just super invested in just the industry and what it had to offer and the people I was going to meet. So I was like, I got to do it, of course.
I got to be here.
Yeah. And it's crazy. I submitted my application in LA. I was in LA at the time. And I think I recorded my audition like outside. I don't know why I did that. But I was just super passionate about it. I was like, I got to get this done. And it was multiple rounds too. It wasn't just like, you submit it, you get it, or you don't. Like, I had to go through multiple things, but it was fun. Yeah. I love that.
Period. That's so dope that you got to do that. So, you talked about having to like budget in your early years for being able to afford studio time and stuff like that. So what do you do now in terms of like financially, like handling being an artist? What advice would you give to people about financially being an artist, and just also marketing and how you brand yourself? You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's important too. Financially,
get a budget sheet or just create it. I'm still struggling with it. Like, I do it myself. Like I say, like, I pay for everything. So studio times, beats, mixing, mastering. So sometimes it gets overwhelming. And if you don't budget your expenses with like this whole music industry stuff, it's so easy to get like lost in that. So my biggest thing for myself and just other people is just budget and always track where everything's going. Because when you have money coming in and then money coming out, and then it's just like, dang, I ain't got no money left for the studio. So always put money aside as well. So yeah, what was the second question?
Look at me.
I'm sorry.
And like marketing and branding yourself.
Oh, I love marketing. So I did an internship in marketing, which is, I don't like doing that for other people, if that makes sense. But in regards to creating my own world and like trying to figure out how to push my music, I love doing that because I'm a very visual person. Like I love photo shoots, I love music videos. So when it's time to market something, I really just sit down and I'm like, okay, I need a music video, I need a photo shoot, I need like an interview, I need to do something because nowadays like people want to get to know you as an artist, but also like just you as a person. Like what do you do every single day? So I think when I implement just who I am into my marketing, it catches on way quicker than just what's the word? I don't even know the word. But it just catches on like way quicker than something not being like authentic and real. So I just put in a little bit of my personality because I'm a crazy fun person and I love having fun. And I just try to make that show in just how people see me and perceive me.
Period.
Yeah.
That's dope. That's dope. So what are your like future goals as a singer and songwriter?
Well, okay, so I love songwriting for other people. So I want to get placements with like Summer Walker, LMA, a lot of the R&B artists I look up to, I want to write for. Outside of, you know, doing stuff for other people, like I want to take this literally all the way. Like I want to tour. I want to have records on the Billboard. I want to be able to, you know, have brand partnerships and really just grow my brand because I want it to just be bigger than me, especially because, you know, I do plan to have a family and I want them to be straight. I want the people that I have around me to be straight. So I just want to take this full time. Like a lot of people think being an artist is something that's not real because, you know, you're not really bringing in money and da-da-da-da. But you just have to be consistent and you just have to believe in yourself and then you just become who you want to be. Literally. So I just want to take it all the way.
Literally. Becoming who you want to be and also becoming who you already are. Because
yes, I'm already this.
I just want to say this. Crazy that you mentioned like all those artists and stuff. Like, okay, so on Apple Music, you know how it says like similar artists and stuff. I don't know. Crazy because like lately, whenever I like look at other local artists and like see other like their similar artists, it's always like locals. Like I don't know other locals, but like when you mention like Summer Walker, like when I looked up you though on your page and like with similar artists, it's like Summer Walker, LMA, and I don't know. I just feel like this time like it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
You know what's crazy? Okay, so I just got like me an Apple Music subscription, right, and I saw that and I was like, I didn't know that. No, because you're right. Like when I do look at other artists, it is kind of more like around, you know, just people in the same city. Literally. But then when I saw like it was like Summer Walker, Janae, LMA, I said,
and it made me, honestly, it made me think like, yo, like I'm not like obviously you're your own person, but it's like. Once again, in Boston, music is not something that we're really known for real at. Like, you know what I'm trying to say? So it's like, when it comes to a singer, who's going, Tamera?
Yeah, so it is.
Yeah, period. Yeah. Period. That's what's up. So before we close out, is there any good vibes of wisdom that, you know, you'd like to give to people? So this could be to, like, artists coming up. This could be to Boston. This could be to anyone, really. But just good vibes of wisdom for people to remember.
Yeah, I would say the biggest thing, it's so cliche, but like really focus on yourself and stay in your own lane. And I say that because it's so easy to compare yourself to other people and like their journey, but you have to be so locked in on like what you want and your goals that it don't even matter. Like still applaud people and support them, but also show up for yourself because the times where I'm locked in just on me individually and I don't see anyone, like I don't see any competition, it's go mode. Like nobody can tell me nothing, but also it's really hard to do, especially being an artist because there's so many other artists around you. But I would just say like try to figure out what your superpower is, and it don't even got to be this big thing. It could be something small and just feed off of that energy and just always focus on yourself, please, because comparison, it takes away from your happiness. But once you locked in with you, that's it. Ain't no switching up.
Period. Got it in the bag.
Yeah, for
Love
sure.
Love that. Thank you so much for that wisdom.
Of course.
And also just thank you so much for all the gems.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I have fun. I like talking. Thank you.
And it's a wrap. All the vibes, and you're looking for vibes.
Bye.